live now, but let me go to the starting soon screen. All right.
So like what? You're just gonna like screen share? Fair enough. So do you want me to just mute right
All right. Hello and welcome to week 7. I want to say no. This is week 8 of the GRLCS. We are in the Lunara conference. Yes, Lunara's conference. We're watching CFlow versus Goliath Esports Lions today. I am Darren Mark Hameswin here with Jonathan Boosted Asian Dow to cast your games tonight.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. And this is a live game. Definitely exciting to see live, way better than having just know it from a VOD.
Yeah.
And today we got, what is it? Goliath Esports versus CFlow.
Yeah, and so CFlow is the top team in the Lunaris conference right now. They are 7-0, no 6-0. They had a bye week or something, so they're 6-0, yet to be defeated. But Goliath Esports Alliance is looking really good right now. They're 5-2 on the upswing. Ever since that they've added Fish Chips to their roster, they've been popping off really hard. He's a super hard carry ADC for the team, and I expect to see him doing well in this game as well. Now, bans on the table, it's going to be Senna, Vi, and Rise. And for the Goliath Esports Lions, they ban Zillion, Karthus, and Mordekaiser. We'll see what they first pick here for CFlow. It's going to be the Nautilus.
Okay. Then on the other side, we got, let's see. What do you think so far about these teams, Darren?
So, I mean, I've recently scrimmed CFlow, but I won't reveal anything too much. They
Just
got
your general opinion.
their
like,
general
good.
opinion. I mean, I think these teams are great. They're probably two of the best teams in the entire Platinum division. Excluding our entire conference, right, Jonathan?
You're right, right.
All right, now we can see that GEL responds with the set pick into the Nautilus. It's a pretty good pick overall. Set is really strong right now in the meta, and they're actually going to early pick the Cassiopeia as well, which is really surprising. They expect Bon Voyage to not be able to counter pick it, I expect, or potentially they could flex it top. I don't know. It's something exciting. They could flex it top or bot. So maybe it's just a flex pick for them. But if Bon Voyage has a counter pick up his sleeve, then he should pull it out now. But the Nautilus for Cosmic Flow is going to be really strong for their bot lane, allowing them to engage onto Fish Chips and Armado, who they are a relatively strong bot lane, but having this aggression, especially with the Lucian as well, is going to do Chimmy and Skylar Dune pretty well.
Okay. And we're going to see what they pick for the first round of drafts. And let's see.
All right, so we'll see what Bon Voyage locks in here. It's gonna be the Ziggs counter pick into Cassiopeia. I don't really think this is a counter pick at all.
I think it's just a really safe pick. Bon Voyage is just living up to his name.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably one of his better picks. I know he definitely plays the Ziggs and the Vel'Koz. Into the Cassiopeia, though, it's going to be really difficult to play the Ziggs because she can close the gap so well. As soon as she hits level 6, Ziggs is constantly in danger. And if he somehow messes up his satchel charge, then he won't be able to disengage at all from the Cassiopeia. As well as, if Chimichangas comes in, who is a returning player for Cosmic Flow. If he comes in, that'll be pretty difficult for the Cassiopeia to get away. But still, we don't know if this Cassiopeia is going to be the commit pick to mid for Raise Cold. Now, we see GEL round out the first half of the draft with the Morgana countering the Nautilus, but in the end, it can only counter so much. So the Morgana Spell Shield is just such a long cooldown that Nautilus can actually get a second dredge line in before the spell shield hits again. So it's pretty difficult matchup for Morgana in that way. But she can spell shield the initial engage, which is pretty helpful. And especially against the Nautilus ultimate, if you can spell shield that, then you kind of just waste a huge cooldown from Cosmic Flow.
All right, really good analysis there. And so we'll see how this bot lane matchup goes. They have still yet to pick an 80 carry, and they instead lock in Jarvan jungle. And Cosmic Flow is going to respond with maybe a top, or maybe it's strong with their top counter pick or their jungle counter pick, and they opt to go with the Gnar.
Yeah, I really like the draft from Goliath Esports Alliance here, banning away two of Chimichanga's junglers and picking the Jarvan. Now it looks like it's going to be the Silas jungle for Chimichanga's, which isn't necessarily popular on this patch or really popular
At all?
yeah, I mean, at least this season, I don't think we've seen any Silas jungle. Maybe last season, season 9, but it's pretty interesting. But we'll see if this is going to be the lock-in for Fish Chips. Matching aggression with aggression, but decides to be the Ashe pick instead. Something pretty safe and can force in its own right.
Now and looking at these team comps, right? In your opinion, who do you favor?
Yeah, so just looking at these team comps, there's a lot of firepower on both sides. It's really dependent on who can execute better. Now, on the Cosmic Flow side, I believe their composition is going to be a little bit more difficult to execute. Compared to the composition of Goliath Esports Alliance, they have more of kind of a run at you comp with the Set and the Jarvan, and can kind of play in your face with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow and then the Morgana binding, allowing for some pick potential as well, and the Raise Cold providing the DPS and the backline. While on the other hand, Cosmic Flow is going to have a little bit more difficulty. They're going to have to time their team fights really well around some key ultimates, as well as the Silas ultimate being able to steal the Set or the Ashe or Morgana Jarvan. A lot of great ultimates he can steal here, and I expect him to, be able to steal and kind of make these big plays. Chimichanga's, returning jungler for Cosmic Flow. He really needs to show up big in this game to, I guess, show the team that he's a valued member.
All right. It's going to be a pretty exciting game. So as soon as we get the delay over and loading screen over with, let's get down to business, shall we?
Yeah, let's talk in depth about each of these matchups just because we have the opportunity now. We'll start in the bot lane because I'm a support main. Boosted Asian is an AD main, so let's talk about it. Lucian Nautilus versus Ashe Morgana.
It's definitely, how do I say, an uphill battle for Cosmic Flow's bot lane, just because you're at a range disadvantage, and the fact that your first engage, more or less, I give it like you have like a 30-ish% chance of succeeding on your first try. It's really about like the second attempt that matters. Like once the binding or like the black shield is down is when you're gonna have to like force a fight and force it really hard. And like once you have the momentum, right, is when you can start to like push your lead, like if you get that far.
Absolutely, and this Lucian Nautilus lane, we'll kind of know who wins the lane in the first two levels or so. Nautilus definitely has to play this matchup pretty aggressively in the first two levels to be able to, get on to them and get a really good trade before the Morgana gets the spell shield, unless Morgana, some reason, starts the spell shield first, but that's just really unlikely. So, just Skylar Toon gonna have to play really aggressive against this bot lane of Fish Chips and Armado and play really confident to be able to win this lane of the Lucian Nautilus.
All right, on to the mid lane. This is definitely, I think we both agree, right? Cassiopeia favored,
It's
I
definitely a
think.
Cassiopeia favored. I mean, if we were talking to Midnight Slush, resident mid laner Sensei Squad, Cassiopeia, big Cassiopeia player, he would play this matchup all day. He'd say, "Oh, Cassiopeia and the Ziggs is really easy. You can play really aggressive. You have a lot of opportunity. The only problem is the Ziggs can kind of stop that opportunity once he has enough AP to be able to just wave clear the wave really quickly." If he can manage to do that and not give Raze Cold the opportunity to kind of make the play on top of him, then he should be in good shape. The problem is Orson Lannister is definitely going to be targeting that lane early, especially before Bon Voyage has the satchel charge, which he'll get at level 3.
Right, right.
So it'll be pretty difficult for Bon Voyage in the end, but it's not impossible. It could go even in the end and possibly Zig's favor depending on how the jungle mid matchup goes.
Right.
And speaking of the jungle matchup, let's talk about the Sylas versus the Jarvan. Now, these are two things that let's just talk about the Sylas real quick because Chimichangas had to dig in really deep into his pool here to pull out the Sylas. Just because Sylas isn't a meta jungler, it's not really a pick that we've seen Chimichangas on the past. So it's gonna be
Okay.
really weird seeing him on this and seeing how well he does.
Definitely. But looking at Goliath Esports team comp, it really seems like he has a bunch of like tools to play around with. Like you got the classic Ash arrow, just stealing all these alties. You're able to turn just about any situation just from take any one of their alties. Like because your team comp is like you said, it's a very run at them team comp. But if say you have like an Ash arrow or you get like the really big Cassiopeia ulti, right? I feel like that should be, he's a Sylas player. He should know like which ultimates to take, and he should really be able to like turn this game like on its head,
Yeah.
right?
And right off the bat, we see level 1, just 5-point standard from both teams. But let's go and introduce the teams on the lineup tonight. So on the blue side, we have Cosmic Flow, 6-0 in the GRLCS as of week 7, playing against GEL. But on the blue side, we have UNSC in the top lane playing Nard, Chimichangas in the jungle playing Sylas, Bon Voyage in mid lane playing his signature Ziggs pick, and Chimmy and Skylar Toon in the bot lane as Lucian Nautilus.
And on the other side, we got Goliath Esports with Broly Bro as their top laner. We have Orson Lannister as their jungler, and we have Raze Cold as their mid laner, Fish and Chips as their AD carry, and Armadou as the support.
Yeah, so right off the bat, we can see that Orson Lancer was able to get a ward in the topside river on that pixel brush. He's going to be able to see if Chimichanga spots him out, but they're actually going to go for a really late invade. Maybe? No, they're just going to place that ward. It's pretty dangerous, but they're going to spot out in case Orson Lannister decides to do a level 2 gank mid. It's a pretty safe ward to protect Bon Voyage and kind of prevent the snowball in the early part of the game.
Okay, see both junglers opting to start bot side. So we might see. Do you think we might see a potential, say, level 2 gank from Jarvan? Because I know this is a very it's a very Jarvan thing to do. And as they're talking right now, he's even pathing down
He's
right
pathing
now.
down, so they didn't predict this. It looks like they predicted that he would go
They
mid.
did put a ward.
Yeah, they did put a ward. That's a really smart ward, and they're gonna be able to spot him out right there. Skylar Toon gonna be blocking for Chimmy, and that actually buys a lot of time for Chimichangas. Hold on, my game's frozen right now, and I don't know why.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Production issues already.
Yeah, I have to run the stream at home, guys, so the stream might be scuffed a little bit, but literally it's just paused. Well, it's not paused, but it's just like not going. Let's try to rewind. Maybe just stuck at 2 minutes for whatever reason. All right, let's try that. I don't know if it'll go past 2 minutes again, but yeah, it's just gonna pause there. We'll go and take a quick break, and then yeah, we'll take a quick break, and then I'll be right back after I fix these quick issues for you guys. All right, hello and welcome back to the game. Sorry about the technical issues, but we have it all figured out now. It's just some weird things happening with the spectator client, but we're just going to go and start this one all over. For those of you who are just now joining us, this is CFlow versus Goliath Esports Lions, Week 8 of the GRLCS. I am Darren Markham's win here with Jonathan Boosted Asian Dow.
Thank you. It's good to be back for the second time.
Yeah, it's quite exciting. We're gonna cast as if we've never seen these first 3 minutes before because we really haven't, right, Jonathan?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This is my first time watching this game.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty exciting stuff seeing Cosmic Flow and GEL clash off for the first time. I don't expect this to be their last if they can somehow match each other in the playoffs, even making it to the finals, because I believe that these are two of the teams that could potentially make the deep playoffs run and take the final spot and potentially take first place in the Platinum Division, other than Sensei Squad.
I have to agree. Their scores really reflect how hard like they've been working and how far they've come. Like as you said, like any of these teams, like both of these teams could just be like the one to take it all, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's many teams in the Platinum Division. We're just not naming them just for just a meme. But these two are pretty strong, honestly, especially since the addition of Fish Chips. GL has looked quite unstoppable. They lost last week to GSM though. It was kind of an interesting victory because the game was really close overall, but they ended up just losing it towards the end because of poor team play. I believe it was very much poor macro. But right as we get off the bat, we can see that Orson Lancer looking for the level 2 gank bot, but he's going to be spotted out by that ward. It looks like that Skylar Toon and Chimmy have very wisely placed to stop him. And this is going to buy a lot of time for Chimichangas to actually accelerate his clear. Yeah, kind of get that power farm going, which is what the Silas needs against the Jarvan, just because Jarvan is actually, traditional jungle, so he's going to be farming quite a bit more quickly than Chimichangas on the Silas.
Okay, we just got some light trading going on here. Nothing exciting yet. The most exciting thing was going to be the level 2, and it was already kind of like stopped by the early vision that Cosmic Flow placed in the tri-bush.
Yeah, and Cosmic Flow going all out in this early game so far, placing these really smart wards to be able to track Orson Lannister, really knowing that, it's a Jarvan, he might look for early plays because that's kind of what he has to do on the Jarvan.
Yep, and for now, we're going to say, top side is going to be very heavily favored since they have Gnar, and Gnar in the set is just, how do I say, it's like bullying? Or very rough.
Yeah, it's a pretty rough matchup for set. It's always, the range in the melee is going to be pretty rough. But, Gnar is one of those range champions that can actually stack a lot of damage due to the
max HP damage.
Yeah, the max HP damage from the W passes. So, getting the 3-hit passive is pretty strong on the Gnar, especially into the set here, who is going to have this wave crash in him. He's not going to be hurting too much as UNSC goes into Mega.
And maybe it's not, maybe the lane isn't as bad as like we're like thinking it is. He has D shield, he has his passive regen. Gnar hasn't forced him to use his pot yet. So all in all, it's kind of like for Broly bro, it's like smooth sailing for right now.
Yeah, for now. And Chimichangas is on top side of the map. Orson Lannister gonna probably provide him some relief soon since UNSC is pushing so far up without wards, and Orson Lannister is pathing on the top side of the map. So we'll kind of see how that goes. We can see that Chimichangas is waiting in the bush right now, but he's gonna spot out Orson Lannister. He hits level 4 off of the minion wave actually, kind of siphoning EXP from Bon Voyage's wave.
And right now, I have to say I'm a little surprised at the state of bot lane. Maybe I'm expecting a little bit more from the fact that they should, I believe like Goliath Esports' bot lane should be hard winning. And as I'm saying that, a free binding and Lucian is already down to half HP. This was the result I was expecting from like level 1, level 2.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about how aggressive Skylar 2 needs to play in the matchup early, and that just didn't happen. As we can see, no summoner spells burnt. Chimmy actually gets hit by binding. It's gonna hurt him quite a bit. He's gonna have to back on this wave. Not gonna back. I think he's gonna go Blade of the Ruin King first. Then if he's, oh no, he's going Essence Reaver. That's pretty interesting. That he didn't wait for the BF sword.
Maybe he was just like a little bit too nervous that like one more binding could potentially force some summoners or even a kill. Or maybe he decided that he likes Caulfield a little bit too much.
I mean, it provides you some of the CDR that he might need to dodge the Morgana bindings after you get slowed by the Ashe. But now, Raze Cold kind of aggressing onto Bon Voyage here. He has a lot of mana compared to Bon Voyage, and he's getting gunned down right now. He's going to be forced out of lane for quite a bit, and Raze Cold just freezing on him right here. Bon Voyage has nothing to do but back right now. It's kind of a really bad spot for Bon Voyage to be in at this state of the game.
And with no TP, he's going to have to be forced to walk all the way back. And lose some CS, letting Raze Cold right now. He has a 10 CS lead, and it might even just get bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Absolutely. And now Raze Cold pushing forward. He's going to burn most of his mana on the wave, and they're actually going to rotate over to this dragon. They know that they have the mid priority. You know, Armando just came back on a back. Chimichanga's actually in the bot side of the map. He's going to get knocked up. The dredge line lands onto the spell shield. Orson Lancer going low, but both junglers are as well. Ignite on the Chimichangas, but here comes the TP. Absolutely. And now Skylar Toon going to be forced back. Orson Lancer too low to take the dragon. Both TPs being used, but no final team fight really erupting there in the earlier parts of the game. No team really willing to pull the trigger.
It's definitely a little exciting to see this already happening. I totally didn't expect just for 5 people to suddenly show up in less than 7 minutes, ready to like fight for the dragon. This is some next level aggression from both teams, and I'm absolutely loving it.
Yeah, both junglers now moving to the bot side of the map as well. Chimichanga's going to start up his red buff, but some pings going out onto the dragon already. Bot lane of CFlow going to be spotted out on the ward placed by Fish Chips and Armado. And now Orson Lancer moving towards the dragon. Actually going to grab the Scuttle Crab. Chimichangas doesn't look like he wants to contest it right now. Instead looking towards his Raptors instead, but the ping going onto it right now. But some trading in the top lane while we see that. Chimichanga's going to move in. Orson Lancer actually a level down right now. So if they were to do the dragon, Chimichangas could easily steal it.
Yep, and seeing this right now, it seems like both teams not really willing to say... They're not really to have the second go on the dragon right now.
It's pretty scary to have that second go on the dragon without either top laner there, providing some of that insurance and engage that you need.
Yeah, and right now though, it's a little bit of a lull stay right now, wouldn't you say?
I mean, neither jungler is going to pull the trigger on the dragon. Perhaps Orson Lancer would do it now that he has the bot priority secured by the Ashe Morgana. But it's still going to be difficult because they know that there are some wards by CFlow, but they don't know that they have already expired. Now, CFlow actually going to start up the Rift Herald. Chimichanga's getting kind of low, but might have the support of his mid laner fairly soon.
And Goliath Esports really don't have an idea of what's going on. So there's realistically no response, and I have to say, good call by CFlow. Oh, okay. I have to take that back a little bit.
Yeah, that really hurts. Yeah, that's going to set them really far behind because Silas is already getting kind of outpaced a little bit by the Jarvan, who's going to actually start up this Mountain Dragon as well, unless somehow CFlow can pull off a Miracle Steal. Oh, they're actually going to back off of it. Bon Voyage by himself kind of just stops him. They don't know that Chimichangas died to the Rift Herald as well. So I think they just assumed that he was in the area ready to contest, and they know that he's kind of leveled up, but now he's a level down. Orson Lancer already hitting level 6 this early in the game. We'll probably try to force somewhere early. It's still just a 100 gold lead in favor of Goliath Esports Lions in this earlier part of the game. You know, say big CS lead from bot, but not really anything else. You know, Raze Cold going aggressive once again, and that's just the Ziggs Cassiopeia matchup that we talked about. It's definitely Cassiopeia favored if Ziggs can't somehow use his disengage.
Yeah, and going back to the topic of CS leads, right? We were talking about how mid had like a 10 CS lead, but somehow Bon Voyage, he's really pulled it back, and they have vision on Orson Lannister here, and they're probably not going to pull the trigger since Ziggs has already backed off, and Raze Cold can respond immediately.
Yeah, both these bot lanes now moving towards the dragon. Jimmy actually going to clear that away. Doesn't know that Armando is waiting in the bush. He might be caught out right here if he's not careful. Gonna dash over the wall though. That's the beauty of the Lucian, having so much mobility in your kit.
And now we're back to normalcy, I guess.
Yeah, back to
As we wait.
normalcy. As neither team really wants to go for the objective, you know. The Rift Herald was started up by CFlow. He might go for it again. I think he's healthy enough this time to actually be able to do it. But Orson Lancer is on the top side of the map.
TPs, they only have a little bit left before they come up, so we might see some action, say in the next maybe a minute and a half here.
And Race Cold has his TP up, so they could force something onto the bot lane or top lane, wherever Race Cold decides to go with his TP, just because he is getting a lot of priority into the Ziggs. But at this point, after the Ziggs is back, has, you know, his Lost Chapter, has the Blasting Wand, he's going to be able to do enough damage and have enough mana sustain on the wave to be able to clear away before the Cassio can kind of do her thing.
No. At this point, we're just waiting for something to happen here.
Yeah, so, you know, this bot lane's getting pushed in. This is about what we expected for the bot lane, and I'm surprised that GL hasn't really pulled the trigger on this dragon because of the bot lane priority. You know, even if they do see you on the dragon, then your bot lane has the priority. They can rotate up, you know, faster than the other bot lane, and that's kind of what you need to just secure that early Drake. You know, they don't have enough vision on the top side of the map to be able to really know where Chimichangas is. They're actually going to start up this dragon.
I think this is a perfectly good call, as Chimichangas right now is soloing Rift Herald for the second time. Potential steal by Bomb Voyage. Keep your eyes on him.
Yeah, but he's going to go ahead and not... He's going to put out his damage, yeah. He's going to put out his damage early, but very wisely, you can see. Oh, never mind. Race Cold going on to Bomb Voyage. He already used the satchel charge. He gets flashed on under turret, but he gets away after expending his own flash.
It's perfect, like a perfect example of how the Ziggs Cassio matchup is. Just runs him down, and as soon as Ziggs tosses the satchel charge, there's nothing left in the tank, and he just gets run down and almost killed. Forcing a flash. Good play by Race Cold.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult for the Ziggs in this matchup. He's going to have to go back to base. Race Cold is going to be able to get a turret plating as well. The Rift Herald has been taken, but it went to UNSC. He's going to probably drop it soon to get the solo plating, but they tried to force on Chimmy here. Armado going to try to hit the binding, and he finds it! He dashes into the binding right here. They summon the Rift Herald top, but he actually gets away, only having to expend the flash.
Another classic inefficient use of Rift Herald, but you know,
I mean,
it's hard.
He wanted the solo plating. It's still pretty efficient. Yeah. It's as much as he can get, because he wasn't focused so much in the early laning phase as on autoing down the turret and kind of chipping away some of the early turret plating, but he was more focused on chipping away the health bar of Broly Bro, which is kind of important in this matchup, kind of to, you know, poke him out and kind of out sustain him in lane. Having the door on Splade versus the door on Shield will kind of do that for you.
It's just that, like, right now, I think Set at this point, he's pretty much impossible to poke down. Like I said, natural regen with Doran's shield plus his passive. And now that he first bought the Vamp Scepter, I think you're gonna need to put in like a little bit more effort, like more so than you probably should, to poke him down. So working on, say, like plates instead. Like, I think he should have the he should have had that last plate, not the last plate, the second to last plate by now, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair assessment. You know, Gnar has the ability to kind of run down the turret. Maybe they weren't planning on giving him the Rift Herald early, but if that's the plan, you know, Chimichangas committing so hard that Rift Herald actually dying to it once, and then going back to it and wasting a lot of time. Now about 17 CS behind, Orson Lancer a full level behind. It's pretty difficult. Skylar Toon gonna flash out of the way, let his ADC get hit by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but they actually escape the claws of Orson Lancer, who is waiting in the wings right there. Yeah, now UNSC is going to be the one matching Race Cold. They know that they can't send Bomb Voyage to keep matching him because it's just way too difficult, but they actually send him up here. He has the satchel charge. They can force his turret pretty hard if they need to. Now, Chimichanga's waiting in the wings, waiting for Broly Bro to commit right here, and this might be the opportunity. They have the satchel charge, going to destroy the first turret, and now they go in right here. There's a roam up top from Raise Cold. Chimichangas goes deep for this one, and he tries for it. Can he get it? He goes down for first blood.
Just a beautiful foresight by Raise Cold to just come top and help out his top laner. And in doing so, instead of like having the result that Cosmic Flow gets first blood. Instead, it's Goliath Esports with the first blood and amazing turn.
Yeah, it's pretty, pretty impeccable. Their team play right there. They lose the turret up top, but they actually end up in the goal lead after getting that kill on the Chimichangas, who's kind of hurting a bit this game. But they are gonna force down this mid lane tower. Nobody there to wave clear. They have the satchel charge available too, so it might just go down on this wave if he can get it, and he actually will. That's the beauty of the Ziggs right there, being able to siege down these turrets so effectively in the early and mid game.
Yeah, and here we see just Raze Cold almost getting engaged on by Chimichangas now. Instead, he's doing the engaging now, almost a solo kill.
Yeah, it's pretty well played by Race Cold. He's so far ahead in this early part of the game, but now UNSC is here trying to run him down. Has 2 procs of the passive already. Gonna try to do as much damage as you can. Chimichangas goes back in and picks up his first kill of the game.
A little bit greedy by Raze Cold to overstay, and he just ends up getting 2v1'd. It was pretty close. He almost got Chimichangas, but in the end, we're now Cosmic Flow back in the gold lead.
Yeah, Cosmic Flow now sitting at 25 and almost a half thousand gold versus the 24,500 of GEL. Sitting pretty, they're sitting pretty at a 1k gold lead right now. This is kind of just the product of having the Ziggs in the early game, able to force down these turrets so hard, especially with the help of the Rift Trail. But now the Dragon has spawned. This is where GEL has their advantage so far, picking up the first Mountain Dragon of the game. And they're going to look to take this Infernal Dragon. Going to spot out some vision placed by Skylar Toon in the pit with the control ward that they have placed. But Raze Cold is here. Burly Bro has a TP. He's pressuring in the top side of the map. They've rotated UNSC down, but Chimichangas is not there to contest. This is disastrous for Cosmic Flow. They're not going to be able to contest this at all. Second Dragon goes to GEL.
And we're currently gonna get, I think, Ocean?
No, it's Cloud. It's Cloud. Yeah, so the Cloud Dragon for the Ultimate CDR is going to help both teams quite a bit. You know, we talked about how Ultimate cooldown reliant both teams are, especially with their engage tools and their pick tools. But we need to talk about Chimichangas specifically. I really enjoy having the Silas with the Cloud Soul because he can hijack so many ultimates in such a short span of time, and he can actually have the enemy's ultimate off cooldown, or like he can use the enemy's ultimate before they even have their own ultimate off cooldown with the Cloud Soul.
Right. He's gonna be constantly stealing ultimates left and right, just like it's just gonna be just like a massive series of robberies happening on the League of Legends Rift right now, or in about say 20-ish minutes or so.
Yeah, and that's if Cosmic Flow can secure this Cloud Dragon. They have yet to get a single dragon this game. It's gonna be pretty difficult. Armdo getting engaged on. A lot of damage going on to him. Ooh, that's a pretty close one. He's gonna have to go back to base potentially here. He's sitting really low, and now they're going to be able to start the Rift Trail. They are going to be spotted out by the Hawk Shot from Fish Chips. Now Skylar Toon in the bot lane not able to help them out here, and he might just engage on Raze Cold, but here comes Orson Lancer. They're going to hit the Flag and Dragon, lock him in the Cataclysm, going to try to buy some time, but he does not buy enough, and Raze Cold picks up a double kill in the bot lane while they see the Rift Herald in the top lane.
Just a great play, great teamwork and great call. Normally when you see Cassiopeia in a 2v1, you kind of think like, oh, she can kind of get locked up and killed. But like she manages to just she's not afraid. She even runs down like both of them because she knows Orson Lannister is coming up. And like with both of their ultimates, it's just free gold and like a free double kill.
It's really difficult for the composition of Cosmic Flow to do anything against this side laning Cassiopeia, but here comes Broly Bro looking for the engage onto UNSC, hits the Bork onto him, and the showstopper. He's going to look for more, running him down, forces the flash, but he has his own flash coming up soon, doesn't need it as the enchanted crystal arrow seals the deal.
And I'd say a little bit like greedy by UNSC. You're pushing up, and you don't have any vision of where the rest of their team members are. And whenever you see Broly Bro is just jumping on you solo, then you have to know something is up, right?
You have to be somewhat aware at the very least. You know, now it's pretty difficult for them to help with this Rift Herald push just because UNSC is down, but he's going to have his TP up fairly soon if they decide to engage right here, and it looks like they will as Raze Cold has the flank, but they're not going to force too hard. It looks like they don't have the Enchanted Cristed Arrow up. They don't want to fight without a major cooldown like that, even though they rotate Brill over. And, things are just going to slow down until the next dragon spawns in about minute 45. It's really early for either team to play for the Baron right now. So, who does this favor, do you think? Either GEL or Cosmic Flow? Who does better as the game pace slows down a little bit?
I would say GEL right now, just because like their champions are not like.
Hold on, just a second. As UNSC hits the Gnar ultimate in the wall, both champions are stunned. He's gonna grab a second stun, trying to solo kill Raze Cold, but the Seris Embrace saves him, rolls up the big shield, and he's able to pick up that solo kill.
Back to what I was saying, right? I do favor GL just because their champions realistically don't fall off, except maybe Jarvan. But the fact is they're slightly ahead, and from that point on, I think the lead, even if it stays the same, I think like their champions are just stronger right now.
Yeah. It's gonna be really difficult for. We can see how difficult it is for Cosmic Flow to just match them in side lanes. This is what they need to do if they're gonna slow the pace of the game down. It's nobody can really match Raze Cold right now other than Bon Voyage, and they're keeping him mid to wave clear against the Fish Chips Armado combo. And it's
right.
And that's kind of where he needs to be. They're gonna be pushing him pretty fast. It's gonna be pretty difficult. Raze Cold are gonna lock some miasma over the wall. Orson Lannister gonna help secure the wards right before this critical dragon spawning about 10 seconds. If they're able to pick this up, they threaten Soul Point. It's going to be really difficult for Cosmic Flow to come back. But look how strong they are right now. 4-1 on the Cassiopeia has completed 2 items already. Her 2 key items, in my opinion. Having both the Rylai's and the Seris Embrace is pretty huge. Broly Bro waiting in the wings. They're going to try to contest this one, but UNSC does not have Mega yet. Dragon going low. It's going to be secured by GEL, and they're just going to get out scotch-free unless Cosmic Flow has anything to do about it. They throw out the Nautilus ult on the Spell Shield target. Now Raze Cold running wild on their team. Throws out a 3-man miasma, locks up the entire enemy team. And now he hits the blast cone, throws himself into his team, but it's not going to be enough to save him. Orson Lancer received the spell shield yet again. UNSC going to be taken up by the show chopper, but here come Fish Chips to clean up the fight, throwing on to Bon Voyage, but gonna barely get away with that last bomb.
The fight was a little bit closer than I expected. I expected a complete shut-in stomp by Goliath, as at the beginning of the fight, you could see Raze Cold. He was just straight up face tanking 3 members of Cosmic Flow, and they weren't doing anything to him. And surprisingly, they let Bon Voyage just continue to pump out bombs, and then suddenly you see just 3 members of Goliath Esports are all down.
You have to wonder where Goliath Esports went wrong in that fight, because it was looking so good for them, like you said. Oh, he barely gets away. But, you have to wonder if Raze Cold kind of positioned a little too aggressively there. He throws out the miasma and kind of gets away a little bit too late to be able to save himself. He now has the Zanya, so it's going to be really hard to kill him in these fights, and they might just win these fights even harder now.
Only time will tell. And so far, now that Dragon's down, Goliath Esports is at Soul Point. It's not a game-winning Soul Point, but their eyes on the prize as Baron is up, and I believe that would be Goliath Esports' next objective.
So it's not over for Cosmic Flow. They're only about 1.3k behind. Overall, it's a pretty close claim, but the Dragon Soul is what we're looking at for GEL. And right here, Raze Cold finds the pick on the Chimichungas, trying to run him down, but UNSC and Skylar Toon are there to thwart the engage. But Armado might find him again. Chimichanga's in trouble. Raze Cold on the side. Will he look for it? UNSC is there to protect him for now, but Raze Cold is still relatively strong. Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming out. They might just hit him right here. He's going to dash away. Gnar ultimate into the wall to disengage, but now he's in a pretty bad spot. Raze Cold pumping out the damage. He's going to force the flash from UNSC, but he goes mini, loses all the resistances that he had, and he's going to go down.
Raze Cold is just playing this game really well. In fact, Is this guy even a platinum like mid laner? He seems a little bit like a Smurf to me on Cassiopeia.
Yeah, his Casio
Someone
looks
stop
really
this man.
clean. Yeah, somebody stop this man. This is not an official Smurf complaint for the league. For any moderators watching or get rec staff, we're just kind of wondering. He's looking really, really good on the Cassiopeia. A little too good, if you ask me.
So far, vision set up for Goliath Esports on the Baron.
Yeah.
You see Timmy Chungus is down bottom,
Yeah.
and immediately the reactions just start with the Baron.
I mean, that's just the call right there. They don't have any vision. Chimichanga's on the bot side of the map. He's rotating up, but it's going to be too late. With the Cassio Ashe, you take this Baron so quickly, and it's not that late in the game at this point. So it's going to be really difficult for CosmicFlow to come in and contest it all, and the Baron Secure already goes over the GEL. They took that in like 15 seconds.
Just a beautiful macro play by Goliath Esports. Now the next play is, I believe, you just run it down mid. I don't think anyone can really stop you. Ziggs at this point, I believe, is not strong enough to play like the wave clear against Baroned up minions. And you have Broly Bro just off in the side having to, I believe he can contest against Gnar, assuming he gets up close and personal. So we'll just have to wait and see on Goliath Esports' next move and how CosmicFlow respond.
Yeah, so now Dragon spawns in about 45 seconds. It is the potential Dragon Soul for GEL, and if they take this one, it's going to be really hard for CosmicFlow to come back. They put themselves at a 4.5k gold deficit at this point, and they're going to be fighting at a big disadvantage in this dragon fight. Already Skylar Toon getting poked down, and Chimmy as well. They're looking for it, and Channel Cristiano gonna go wide. Where's the Lancer looking for? It's Bon Voyage on the other side of the wall. They throw out the depths below, and he's gonna look for it. Armadillo goes golden, but doesn't save himself for long on the backside of the fight. Chimichanga steals the showstopper and tries to buy some time. Re-engage from Orson Lancer on the Skylar Toon. UNSC gonna get gunned down. Now that Raze Cold has joined the fray, and they're just gonna push in with this Baron. Cloud Dragon spawning soon. They're gonna split their focus. Actually, they know what they need to do to close out this game. Pick up the Dragon Soul, pick up the turrets as well, and this is all but over now for CosmicFlow.
This is Dragon Soul, and Goliath Esports are currently knocking on the front door of CosmicFlow's base soon enough. Once Ziggs is done, wave clearing, he only has so much mana to go off of. But instead, I think Goliath Esports, instead of continuously knocking, they opt to have a reset and then go for an even harder push.
Yeah, Goliath Esports decides to reset here. They have waves pushing in on the side. A lot of people have gold from that fight that they want to spend. I'm curious to see what Fish Chips actually picks up here. He finishes the Infinity Edge, so 3-item Ash with the Hex Shrinker is going to be really strong in these fights. And we're talking about Raze Cold over and over again, but we have to watch Fish Chips as well. He's putting out a lot of damage in these fights. The Runons on the Ash synergizes really well with her kit, and it's able to provide a lot, but he's going to get caught up right here. Broly Bro going to dive him under the turret and kind of run him down. Now they're looking for more. The Ziggs ultimate going to dissuade them for a little bit. Fish Chips goes down to half health, but they continue to push without a wave at this point. Raze Cold on the top side of the map can potentially take that top wave in, but he rotates over for the team, trying to look for the play as well. Not going to hit the miasma, but the TP to the bot side of the map might just push it in for Broly Bro. Now, the composition of CosmicFlow, just due to the Ziggs picks, has enough wave clear if GEL doesn't have Baron to kind of stop their pushes entirely.
I agree, and you're seeing it in action right now. I believe Goliath, if they weren't up against Ziggs, they should have been maybe knocking up against like the inhibitor turret or maybe the inhibitor itself.
And this is what they're looking at right now, because CosmicFlow was slow on the rotation. They weren't able to rotate Bomb Voyage over, but he's going to flash forward. Raze Cold looking for it, but he's going to get dove on the turret. Gonna go golden. Buy some time. Orson Lancer finds a secondary engage, and they're just gunning them down right now. UNSC looks for the play, trying to get the play, but he knocks him into the Cataclysm wall. Gonna secure it with Bomb Voyage's help, but it's a triple kill for Fish Chips.
And finally, we see Goliath Esports is just taking turrets, taking inhibitors. You see Broly Bro didn't even have to come up there to like finish the fight. and they're just suddenly taking it all and one step closer to ending the game now that inhibitors are down and super minions are gonna start knocking at their door.
They're gonna grab 2 inhibitors here, and Cosmic Flow just doing what they can to stay in this game. But if I'm Cosmic Flow, you have to just kind of mark this game off as a loss. You have to say, okay, we have to go next. What do we need to do next game to come back in the series after being 1 game down at match point? And what do you think that you need to do?
Ban Cassio, number 1 priority right now.
I
If
mean,
I was Cosmic, yeah, I would have to ban Cassio. Maybe pick a better bot lane. I don't think the Lucian or like the Lucian has been very helpful in these games. I think having maybe an AD carry with a little bit more agency would help. Because I would say dashing into Goliath Esports team or just dashing into Cassio is just suicide.
yeah, I definitely agree there. So, what kind of ADCs do you think that Chimmy should pick up here to, have some more agency? Oh, just 1 second. This is going to be the engage right here. I know it. Yeah, here we go. Showstopper on the Chimichungi. He's going to flash over the wall. UNSC looking for it. Hits a 4-man Gnarl, but will be enough to win the fight. Stun over the wall. Race Cold going wild, running down Chimmy as well. But now Fish Chips hits Skylar Toon. Double kill for the top laner of GEL. And Gonvoyage, the last one left, is dying breath right here. Going to knock Broly Bro into the turret, but it's going to be the ace for GEL. And they're looking for the end right here.
That was quite a really good desperation move by UNSC to get a 4-man ult, but unfortunately it just really wasn't enough. The follow-up it wasn't good enough. Like, say, if you could try and get maybe Raise Cold or Fish Chips down, then I think you have a decent chance of winning the fight. But your dreams just didn't happen, and your game and dreams just went down the gutter.
Yeah.
Really good game by Goliath Esports.
Yeah, honestly, pretty immaculate gameplay from Goliath Esports Lions. They did what they needed to in the early game, got Raze Cold ahead, and he kind of just ran over the enemy team. At a certain point, UNSC just couldn't match him anymore, and it was too late for him to realize that he couldn't match him, and Cassio was so fed at that point. And, they were able to convert their lead pretty well through some key team fights around the dragons. They picked up all 4 dragons this game, only gave away the 2 Rift Heroes, but in the end, it didn't matter because they picked up the W.
Okay, and you were also saying, and we also were talking about like how could Cosmic Flow do better, and like what could they do to come back, say next game, since they marked this one off as a loss. Personally, right, I say ban Cassio, pick a better bot lane combo maybe. I think the Silas, in your opinion, what do you think about the Silas? Do you think he was more of a liability pick or?
He fell behind in pace compared to the Jarvan. They need to pick something that can match Jarvan early, or pick Jarvan for themselves perhaps. But Silas, it just wasn't doing what he needed to on the pick, kind of skirmishing a lot, and being that big menace that we are used to seeing Silas as. But
Right.
We'll go and take a quick break before we head into the second game of the series. We'll see if Cosmic Flow can bring this one back against GEL. We'll be right back. All right, there we go. Hello and welcome back to the stream, everybody. This is Cosmic Flow versus Goliath Esports Line. First game, we saw Goliath Esports Lions take them down in pretty dominating fashion, but Cosmic Flow and they're gonna keep the same side. Sorry, so GEL has the side selection. They decided to keep the red side. We see a Cassiopeia ban from Cosmic Flow away from Raise Cold. We saw how strong he was on that pick last game. Pretty similar bans from. I'm pretty sure the same bands actually from GEL.
From Goliath?
Yeah,
Esports?
from Goliath. Yeah. So it's going to be the first pick Morgana this time. A bit change in draft. They decide they don't want the Nautilus. They want to take the Morgana away from Armado. And, this might be the right move. But instead, Fish tips this time. Fish picks the Misfortune. And I expect to see a set pickup as well. Yeah, there we go. That's the meta draft I like to see. But Cosmic Flow, they have to change something in their draft. They just need to change the way they play the game because they just got completely rolled over by GEL.
And I'm surprised both at Cosmic and GL at the fact that Goliath did not ban Ornn, even though that they let Cosmic have blue side and first pick, and the fact that even though Ornn is open, you're not picking it. I think Ornn would be slightly better since it shows that in the last game that picking Gnar as a counter pick did not have the same result or had not had the results that you expected against the set. And instead of Ornn, they just opt to go for the bot lane pick.
And I apologize to all the viewers. I forgot that I need to move my client over a little bit. You can kind of see more of the champion portraits now. It's going to be cut off a little bit on both sides. I didn't fix that beforehand. This is my first time running the stream for my own personal computer. Usually we run it off-site, but now since of COVID-19, we are all running the streams from home. This is why you're seeing the live casted games instead of the traditional weekly streams of the GRLCS. But they're going to round out the draft with an Ezreal for Chimmy and a Karma for Armado.
And right now we're seeing, I believe they're going to ban one potential mid laner, I believe, or maybe they're going to ban the aforementioned Ornn, or just I'm just wrong all the time, I guess, and just gonna ban Gangplank.
I mean, so UNSC plays a lot of Gangplank. Oh, that's somewhat of a fair pick, and he's a decent pick into set because he can somewhat duel him early, and has that global presence. They're gonna ban away two junglers, away from Orson Lannister, but they're gonna lock in the Pantheon. Yes.
Pantheon.
So the Pantheon jungle is something that we've been seeing a lot more often in pro play. Pretty much all four games.
We don't know yet. We hold off on judgment. It might even be a Pantheon.
It's true. It could be a Pantheon med. So we'll hold up on that. But I expect it to be the Pantheon jungle. But we'll see what they end up picking to round out their comp top in mid. Ornn is available, like you said, but I don't know if it's the greatest pick in the set. I feel like set's a really great matchup in the Ornn. Can stop his ultimate pretty much every time. Similar to how Braum can stop the Ornn ultimate, it takes away a pretty big part of his kit. But Von Voyage is gonna opt to pick the Vel'Koz this game rather than the Zigzagoon.
Now we finally see the fabled top lane pick. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be the Ornn, the champion of legends, or perhaps a Gnar pick? Oh, okay, finally.
Yeah, it's a pretty good pick into the composition of GEL here. They don't have anything that can really stop the Ornn other than the set, and you kind of need that engage with your comp. Having the engage is pretty good, but here comes the Taliyah in the mid lane for Raise Cold. It is going to be the Pantheon jungle, the Pantheon Taliyah combo. Really, really strong early. You hit the Pantheon stun, hit the Taliyah knock.
W-E.
Yeah, it's
Bon Voyage. Definitely gonna have to look out.
He's gonna have to take cleanse. I think I expect him to take cleanse this game. We don't know for sure. But
and then once both Raise Cold and Orson Lannister hit level 6, I expect to see a 5-man bot lane.
Yeah, I mean the globals from the composition of GEL are going to be super strong. Set having TP as well, and especially with the buffed version of TP where you have the home guards coming in. If you can get a really sick TP flank off, then you kind of win the fight. automatically with the Pantheon Talia coming in as well. The problem is, I think in their composition, they don't have enough peel for the Misfortune. They don't have anything that can really stop Chimichangas on the Jarvan from getting on.
Combined with like the ram horn, right?
Yeah, the
Kind
guy
of,
just like
yeah.
knocking down Misfortune in the earlier parts of the fight, which is still a lot of their damage to be fair. GEL drafted a composition that is going to have to kind of put them ahead early, and if they
Hmm.
fall behind early, then I definitely see Cosmic Flow winning this game.
Hmm. Uh, so would you want to talk about, say, lane matchups,
Yeah, we can.
starting with the bot lane?
Yeah, let's start with the bot lane again. For those of you who are just tuning in, resident support main and AD main right here. Gonna give you some insight on the Ezreal Morgana versus Misfortune Karma matchup. Now, what do you think?
Definitely. I would say Goliath Esports favored once again.
I would have to agree with that. I play a lot of Morgana. I don't see Karma as a hard counter to Morgana, really. He had the opportunity to pick a lot of other stuff that could counter Morgana. Perhaps even the Navi would counter Morgana a little bit harder. But the Karma can eat through the spell shield with her Q, not even empowered
Right.
Q, and then she can throw the Mantra W as well. So it's going to be pretty difficult for Chimmy and Skylar Toon to play against the spot lane just because Misfortune kind of beats out Ezreal in the early game as well.
Hmm. And like Karma can kind of prevent like what Ezreal and Morgana want to do, like just poke you until like they catch you off guard with one binding and all in you, which I think Karma can really help alleviate. And MF is kind of healthy enough if you want to stack Doran's blades to kind of just lifesteal all through the poke. So it's kind of a null and void. Like nobody really wins, but nobody really loses either in the bot lanes.
That
So
is
it's
that
more,
is until GEL come in 5-man bot, like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
they're kind of so Fish Chips and Armado kind of just have to wait and kind of poke them down long enough, and they will have the wave priority as well to be able to set up this dive in the bot lane, kind of run down Chimmy and Skylar Toon. There is some safety to the Ezreal Morgana. They have the spell shield
yeah.
and the arcane shift, but in the end, if it's 4 champions in your face, one of them with point and click CC, I'm sorry, 2 of them with point and click CC, really, with the Karma W and the Pantheon
Yeah.
stun. It's gonna be really difficult to get away from that unless they kind of just CC your spell shield target. But you have to have really great gameplay to get away from that 4-man dive, which is gonna be really dangerous against Cosmic Flow.
And on to say the mid lane matchup, I think they're equally favored in a 1v1 vacuum, of course. Like when you factor in like say like the Pantheon Talia, right? Like I think that it's very Talia favored suddenly. At level 2, say level 3, Bomb Voyage is gonna have to look out, and unless he slips and just gets caught, and suddenly it is Talia favored like all the way.
All right, I'm gonna share League of Legends with you, and now we get into the loading screen after our break for competitive integrity. So I know a lot about Talia, because my mid laner just plays Talia, and I've just learned a lot about her. And what Talia really wants to do in this earlier part of the game is kind of push and roam. Right, push and roam with the
Hmm.
Pantheon, push and roam, kind of get kills on Vel'Koz, get kills onto Jarvan in his jungle, and they're able to do that against the Vel'Koz. So I would say in the end, it's a winning matchup for Talia, just because it's kind of what it sets her up for what she wants to do and what she needs to do in this earlier part of the game, because Vel'Koz just doesn't have that much pushing power early.
Right, right. His W is only on charges, so you can't exactly spam it to where you need to. Whereas Talia is kind of just it's very free, I guess. Like the only thing holding you back would be mana cooldowns instead of charges. And here we see both teams opting to do like a little mini invade. They're not going to find each other since they're opposite sides of the map.
I think
So this
both
is gonna
junglers wanted to split the map right here. So like the Pantheon wants to play towards bot side, right? Play towards Fish Chips
right,
and Armado, kind of the hard carry of their team, and Race Cold and Fish Chips, and kind of leave Bro alone in the top lane. While it looks like Chimichangas decides that he wants to dodge Orson Lancer in the early game, because Pantheon is somewhat strong early. He has that
right,
dueling
right.
potential, and they're gonna get the steep board and kind of just split the map right now. They're walking all the way around. This invade is pretty funny, honestly, because Neither team's gonna spot each other. They're both gonna get a ward, but he's actually not gonna ward the red buff. It looks like this is pretty.
Oh no, they're not.
Oh no, they are. They end up warding the red buff. And it looks like both junglers are gonna start on the opposite side of the map. It might end up being the split map right here, the vertical jungling, as it were.
Right, and see now potentially since Jarvan does start opposite side, I don't believe we're gonna see a level 2 gank from.
All right, hold on, Jonathan. It's happening again. It's not letting me advance in the game. There we go. All right, we'll see. Okay, I think this should work. I hope the stream isn't scuffed too much for the viewers, but you know, since it's an at-home stream, my first time streaming by myself, it's gonna have a little bit of that scuffiness. But you know, we're all used to having the scuff stream, right?
Are you on 2 minutes right now?
I screen shared with you on Discord, so you can look at the exact same thing.
It's loading.
It's loading.
So
okay.
Yeah, let me just match your time on my screen. What's your time?
I'm at 2 minutes right now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right, it'll be close enough. You're color cast. You don't need to see exactly what's happening same time I do. But yeah, Broly Bro gonna get traded on. It's just such a good matchup for Set, honestly. I really don't like picking the Ornn into the Set because Set just kind of does whatever he wants in lane, and then he can use the showstopper to kind of just 1v1 Ornn.
Here we have.
Oh, here comes a binding onto Fish Chips. He's in trouble. He's going to dash forward. He's looking for it. They bind the first blood. And now they're looking for more. Arvido running to the safety of his turret. But a beautiful binding from Skylar June secures them the kill.
Just beautiful coordination by CFlow. They get the early push on. They get the level 2. And MF does not respect the fact that they have the level 2. Does not flash the binding. Is forced to burn heal, but still ends up dying anyways.
That is not what you want to see early out of the bot lane of Goliath Esports Lions, but in the end, Morgana gets the kill, so not too much is going to happen there. Jimmy's going to be able to back for an early mana crystal or boots, but it's not going to send him too far ahead. But now here comes the engage onto Bon Voyage. Orson Lancer is here. He's going to have to burn the cleanse, and he won't have that for next time they gank.
I'd say it's a worthwhile trade for Bon Voyage because Talia and Pantheon were both forced to burn Flash compared to just burning Cleanse, which is on a lower cooldown. So overall, that's just a bigger win for CFlow in the mid lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Chimichanga is kind of getting low in the side of the map. He's going to be able to get onto the Scuttle. Orson Lancer on the top side of the map, but he might do a gank to cross right here. He's coming around, and we have to watch this right now. Watch him very closely as he looks for Bon Voyage, who does not have the cleanse. He's lying in wait. He really wants this right now. He's wasting a lot of time trying to look for this play, and he might just find it. Bon Voyage is here. He's going to get slowed down by Raise Cold. You're going to have to flash away from the seismic shove. And here comes the TP actually from CFlow. They're trying to turn this one. A TP response as well. Broly Bro is here, but they pick up the second kill of the game onto Orson Lannister.
Good response by CFlow. Once they see that Goliath Esports, they don't have anything left in the tank, so it's just a free engage and a free kill. And suddenly the Avengers comp, which the Goliath Esports is running, is not going quite as planned anymore.
Nope, it froze again. This is tragic. What's happening? All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Basically, what's happening for the viewers who want to be in on the loop, the spectator client is just buffering for some reason. Like as you can see, it just gives me 30-second intervals. So if we watch the game too fast, then the 30-second intervals just it'll just stop me. We're at the next 30-second interval. So we're gonna take a quick break, let the stream buffer for a bit, and we'll be right back. There we go.
Do I need to match times again?
Hello and welcome back to the stream. Sorry, everybody.